Good evening, everybody. What's up? This is Gina Ifoe, the one and only African superstar, back at it again. Thank you guys for being here once again. Tonight, I want to talk about a topic that needs to be talked about. I want to first give a big shout out to the customers at AfricanSuperstar.com, www.theafricansuperstar.com. Also, all of you supporting us, members only. Members only, I did post a new vlog for you. I posted, I believe, 2 last week. So please make sure you check the community tab and keep up with all the current events. And last but not least, the lovers of the African Superstar Music Project. Probably the most exciting thing of what I'm doing currently. So obviously you have probably heard the news. If you saw my video from yesterday, I have been nominated for an award in South Africa. The voting is currently open. It's going to be open until July 11th. And obviously we need to definitely, get with it. Some of you guys requested a GoFundMe to assist with some of the charges and some of the expenses. So I did also get the GoFundMe link. It's right there. It's quite big, but yes, the GoFundMe is now available for those of you guys that just want to, pitch in. I would greatly appreciate it, as going to South Africa is not part of my travel plans this year, and it will be a costly journey. Hotel, airfare, my new gown, accommodation for my makeup artist, photography, the list goes on. So whatever you guys can do, I'd appreciate it. We have quite a few viewers here, over 5,000 viewers on this channel. So even if, you guys pitch in a little bit, 10, 25, whatever you can do, we can definitely hit the goal and be able to do that trip very well and be able to win the award. So a big shout out to the African Superstar family. Yes, if you're here, you already know the protocols. Please make sure you greet me in the chat. Please be a part of our conversation. Today I want to talk about Black people know exactly what they should be doing, but they refuse to do it. And this conversation came about because I got into a conversation with someone the other day about my music and how if I, were to do some other things in my music or talk about different topics in my music or, work with certain people or sign a deal, get a label, all these things, how, obviously I could get way more exposure. I could make more money. I could, become more famous and all of that stuff. And I expressed to this person that fame is not the goal for what I'm trying to do here. Being super famous and making a lot of money, not what I want to achieve. Obviously, I'm putting in a lot of investment in my music, so I do want some returns. But I'm very content with a moderate return. You know what I mean? Because I understand that with more money comes more problems, and I don't want to even get to the level where, my privacy and all that stuff is just completely gone, and I don't want that. So I was expressing to this person, why I'm doing what I'm doing and why I have the messages I do, which I have 2 prominent themes in my music, which is promoting the continent and the other is Black love. And the irony is, when I would have a discussion with majority of Black people, especially those of you guys from the diaspora, people here on the continent have different perspectives of things. And obviously they've grown up in a different environment. They haven't been through a lot of experiences that we've had, blah, blah, blah. That creates our perspective. But we know exactly what we should be doing. And many of you, for some reason, choose not to do what you ought to do. Okay? If you agree with any of these statements that I'm getting ready to make, just leave a number 1 in the chat. Okay? Black people know that they should be shopping with Black-owned businesses. If you agree with that statement, let me see a number 1. What's up, family? Are you here? Big shout out to the African Superstar family. Black people know that they should be marrying their own people. Hello? Number 1. Black people should be shopping at Black-owned businesses. We all know that, right? We can all agree on that. We should be marrying our own people. Hello. Creating families, creating communities, creating safe spaces for our kids. Hello. Black people know that we should be addressing some of the issues happening on the continent. Hello. Number one, if you agree. Black people know they should be educating their own kids because they know that their children are being brainwashed and they know that their children are not learning comprehensively information that they ought to know. Number one, if I have a conversation with, 9 out of 10 Black people in the world, the things that I have said, they understand it. They understand it. But for some reason, there's a disconnect between understanding, acknowledging the problem, recognizing the problem, and innovating the solution and being responsible for the change they want to see. I know that music, for instance, is very influential. It was influential in my life. It's probably been very influential in your lives. A lot of moments and chapters in my history, I can correlate to songs or remember certain songs that, when I work out, certain songs I listen to, or when I was sad, certain songs I listened to, or, the meaning, certain occasions that happened and songs were playing. I can remember when I went to one of my aunt's weddings in Florida. This was in the probably early 90s. She had a beautiful wedding, and her song, the first song that she danced with her husband, was Ribbon in the Sky by Stevie Wonder. And I have loved that song ever since. I was a little girl at that time. I probably might have been, 10, 11, 12, something like that. And I have loved that song. But I know how pivotal and influential music is. We all do. There is no coincidence between the deterioration of our people and our youth and the music that they are listening to. Hello. If you guys agree with that statement, let me see a number two. There is a strong correlation between the deterioration of our young people and the music that they listen to. Number two. Hello, family. Make sure you like the stream because I'm going in tonight. This is the one and only award-winning African superstar coming to get on your mind. We understand that this correlation between this bad music and the way our young people see the world, the way they interact with each other, hello, the way they treat their families, loved ones, their kids, it has a strong correlation with the garbage in the music that they're listening to. I don't listen to mainstream music that often, but I do hear some of these songs when Monica and I go out for chilling and listen to the lyrics. Not so much here in Ghana, because here in Ghana they play they play a lot of Afro beats. They play Ghanaian music, which does not have all that violence and doesn't have all those degrading things that Western music does. When you look at America, you see, for instance, a lot of gun violence. You see people not, taking care of their kids, not being interested in marriage, not being mature. A lot of these things, character things, it's coming from the music. The music is influencing the young people to be these kind of individuals. They also see these images reflected in the celebrities, in the basketball stars, in the rap stars, in the movie stars. That makes them want to emulate that, right? So we recognize that music, for instance, is a problem. I'm stepping up and doing something about it. Even some of these big stars will acknowledge how their songs are bad. There was an article about Cardi B, I think sometime last year, saying she doesn't even let her own children listen to her music, yet she's putting out extremely explicit, sexually explicit music videos. You see, all these rappers, a lot of them, obviously, they don't live in the hood anymore. They don't live in the ghetto anymore. Talking about drugs, talking about gun violence, talking about, this kind of crazy lifestyle, shooting people and all this. But that's not the lifestyle that they live. That's not the lifestyle that their kids live. We talk about the importance of Black love. But how many of us are practicing it? How many of us are willing to make that a priority? You know, sometimes I watch, obviously, I see Dr. Umar clips. He's very vocal about interracial dating and how he doesn't like interracial dating. But one curious thing is that he has not made anyone his wife. I'm not sure if he even has children. The biggest example of Black love is participating in Black love. It's selectively choosing who you're going to procreate. And there's just a huge disconnect between our people talking about what ought to happen and actually doing what ought to happen. Huh? I mean, you could talk to, you know, again, 10 Ghanaians, 10 Nigerians, 10 Kenyans. They will have a lot to say about their country, you know, problems in their country, whatever, whatever. If it comes down to creating the solutions for these problems, they're going to say the government. You know, that's the default. Even these that travel outside that then get, you know, different education, get different resources, they know the difference of their currency exchange. Why are you not coming home? This is a critical breakdown in our people. That's very annoying. Because when you see the other ethnicities, they know how to be on code. And I don't know why our people don't want to be on code when we understand that is precisely what we should be doing. A lot of you guys talk unity. Do you live unity? When you come here to the continent, how are you interacting with continental Africans? Are you in business with them? Are you in relationships with them? Are you interested to know your new surroundings? Are you working successfully with them or what? Because we know what we're supposed to be doing. If we started practicing what we should be doing, we could see significant change within the next 10 years. But because we refuse, because we refuse to exercise a little bit of discipline, we can't get anywhere. And, you know, I'm so glad that I am not that kind of person. I don't know how many of you go to sleep at night understanding what you should be doing, but not doing it. And let me also say, for the record, things are not going to get better. Things are not changed, especially if you sit back and do nothing. Let me just tell you, things have been deteriorating in the world since I came along. You know, I have literally seen everything kind of, you know, plummet, from race relations, the economy, you know, morality in society, communities. I have seen it begin to deteriorate. The only way I was able to salvage and put myself on a different track was by inserting myself into the problems and becoming a solution. I didn't leave that up to anyone else. How a lot of you understand that your children are being miseducated. Some cases, your kids might even be going to the same schools that you went to. Whatever happened to the concept of each one teach one, where you learn something and you pass it along? Do you not realize that you are complicit when you realize certain truths and realities and you don't pass it along? You don't save a person from going up and down in hardships. It's like going down a road that's a dead end. And you just walking back from that dead end and you see the next person heading into the dead end. And you don't stop to say, hey, man, there's a dead end at that road. Or it's like going to the gym and you're trying to work on a machine and the machine's broke or something like that. You see a person walking away from the machine and they don't say, hey, man, the treadmill's skipping, or hey, man, you know, the wires are not what. It only takes you a few minutes to do what you ought to do. And so many of our people are irresponsible. And it's very, very disgusting. And the thing is that I'm also realizing as I get older that if you begin to address the problems, it's amazing how you can solve the problems. You know, I started with the small resources that I have, okay? Cell phone, YouTube channel, and a voice. That's how I started. My goals was to change and help one additional person. I felt that if I could do that, I would be gratified. This was so many years ago. Big shout outs to my girl, Honesty. She's the one who, you know, I love Honesty. She just so casually said, hey, Gina, she's got a really like high voice. Said, hey, Gina, have you thought about ever starting a YouTube channel? I think you should start a YouTube channel. And I did, you know, I took her advice and I thought, okay, let me just get on here. And maybe my motivation, you know, at that point, that was really what I was focused on because I was going through a lot in my personal life. My marriage was breaking down and things like that. And I needed motivation. I needed motivation. So in me trying to help myself, I began to impact others. As my journey continued, you know, looking for truth, looking for satisfaction, you know, debunking a lot of these myths and all this stuff, I really realized, I'm like, okay, you know, the missing element of so many people is that they refuse to do what they need to do. They refuse to, you know, pursue the solution. And this is what I see among our people. I literally see this among our people. Like, they do not want to do what they know they ought to do. They want to talk about what they know they ought to do, but they don't want to do what they're supposed to do. If we did what we were supposed to do, it would be very effective. It wouldn't even take that long, like I said, to start seeing results. So that's tonight's topic. All right, I see quite a bit of comments in here. Big shout out to the African Superstar family, guys. Make sure you hit the likes. As you can see on the screen, the GoFundMe for the South African Award Show is effective. I need you guys to really show your support. My birthday's coming up in a couple weeks, and I want to win the award in South Africa. I want to, you know, I actually, I don't know. I know it's my time. I know it's my time right now. And I'm definitely positioning myself to be able to take advantage of everything that's coming in front of me. I was notified today. I was also nominated for Best Afro Pop and Rapper, Diasporian Afro Pop and Rapper of the Year in Paris for the Ghana Music Awards Europe edition. Hello. Can you say international? Huh? Hello. International award-winning music star. Hello. So that award program is going to be September 16th in Paris. If I have viewers in these locations, like I saw in the comments that I have viewers in South Africa, which I'm aware. I know I have viewers in Europe. Those of you guys in the UK, Paris, I'm going to be at that award show, and you can also join me in Paris. So, you know, I'm going to focus on the South African program first because the voting is open until July 11th. And then I will start promoting the Paris award show after that. So, yes, it's just like everything is coming like this, you know. But then again, that's a testament to what I'm talking about tonight. Just do what the hell you're supposed to do. Hello. There's not a person out there that can say Gina's not doing what she's supposed to do. Gina doesn't do what she talks about. Okay. Gina is not the embodiment of whatever. I believe that Pan-African life is the way. How can I sit abroad and preach Pan-Africanism? That was the question that I asked myself. To a certain degree, while I was preparing to come to the continent, I felt I wasn't wholly legit. You know, that's just me, a person who loves to be official. Okay. I love for my words and my actions to be aligned. If they don't, I don't feel official. I don't feel for real. That's just me. So until I was fully here in Ghana, I was feeling like, man, I felt like I was in the box with all the scammers, all those people, a lot of YouTubers, a lot of personalities that preach and talk about what needs to be done and don't do it. And the line of demarcation, which is so easy to achieve, guys, is being the man or woman that you profess to be. That's the difference. You separate yourself from millions of people when you actually stand on your word and do the things that you're going to say. Do the things that you said you will do. You literally, how many people, okay, next trivia question. All right. How many people know people that say they want to move to Africa? Let me see your number 3, because this is a third trivia question. How many people know people that say they want to move to Africa? I'm sure a lot of you know people. I know people even here on YouTube, literally been talking for years about visiting the continent, moving to the continent. Okay, the amount of people that talk about, I want to go to Africa, versus those that actually make the trek, versus those that actually make the move, versus those that actually have the longevity of the move. You see? So the more you do the things you say that you want to do or that you believe should be done, the more you estrange yourself from the people that are not serious about the things they talk about. It's a conversation I have, for instance, with Mr. Hot Chocolate. We talk a lot about a lot of topics. And, we talked about the subject of education. And I told him that I really strongly feel that at this point I would have to homeschool my children, because I cannot, and I'm not willing to, allow them to be brainwashed when I know the destruction that causes. And when I know how much I've had to go through to recondition my mind and other people's minds, and just the ignorance of the world and the reality of the world, I cannot consciously let my child become miseducated in this world. I feel very strongly about that. I know some people will say, schedule constraints. Hey, I'm a single parent. I got to work. And, there's all these kind of things that go on. But, at the end of the day, we understand and agree about the destruction of the education that our kids get. And if you want to take it up a notch, the answer is starting your own school or your own homeschool program. So if you can't homeschool your kid and you need to send your kid to school, there should be an option for them to go to a school that is catering to them. We know Malcolm X was talking about us not allowing our enemies to educate our children all the way in the 60s. Do you know the legwork that people went through to erect historically Black colleges? They wanted to teach their own students. But in that case, it was by force, because they weren't allowed to go with the general population. As soon as we could go with the general population, we lost the interest in educating our own kids, as if it still wasn't important. And obviously, I know the smoke and mirrors of integration and all that stuff. But, how long does it take for you to realize, wait a minute, this ain't working? We forced our kids to go into these racist-ass schools where they face bullying. Some people face death. They face a lot of trauma and tumultuous stuff. Was it necessary to force our kids to be where they were not wanted? These are the questions that I don't know that our people are asking, but, solving problems. Hello. You guys know what you're supposed to be doing. The question is, why aren't you doing it? Big shout out to the family. So I'm on it tonight. Like I said, the GoFundMe link is there. Hello, super chats, guys. Be on your block. Yes. Black Beauty is with us today. Big shout outs to Black Beauty and Scorpio. Enigmatic Scorpio. He says, it breaks my heart when I hear FBAs verbally distance themselves from the continent. Again, Black people know that white people have been inherently and consistently racist for all of history, right? We know that. The answer is very simple, that we cannot live with them. Why do we try to live with them? Why don't we create our safe haven elsewhere? Now we see them venturing onto the continent. I posted a video earlier today of a white man encouraging Westerners to come and retire here in Ghana. You see, while we're dragging our feet as a diaspora and African migrants, while we're just, so obsessed with being in these environments and remaining in these environments and trying to, force ourselves into these environments, these people are checking out and coming over here to the continent. And by the time you people wake up, you won't have any space available to you. You won't be able to afford land. You won't be able to start up your business. They're going to monopolize. Why do I say that, Gina? Am I being negative? No, it's historical. Hello. It's historical. They have a long track record of doing this same stuff all around the world. Why aren't you doing what you're supposed to do? That's my question tonight. Big shout out, Sick Lions here. Preach hard. The soul is willing, but the body is weak. Black Beauty is talking about the music. And again, as I talked about the deterioration of our youth, you can clearly see how the music of previous generations was a lot different. Romantic music, music about community, music about change, music about loving your brother and these kind of things. The music has become so degrading where the men don't value the women. People make light of things that should be embarrassing, things that are, shames. They talk about drugs, they talk about materialism, they talk about violence, and you can directly see the correlation in the young people. My era, you have folks like Whitney Houston, you have people like Michael Jackson, and then you had the elders, Barry White, Tina Turner, Patti LaBelle, and these people were sophisticated. They were classy. They also had opinions on social movements. I remember some of these interviews you can find from like Sammy Davis Jr. And, these folks are very articulate musicians, professionals. They were glamorous. They were classy. They were very interesting. They had passion about the music they were creating. It's a lot different than nowadays. And I know everybody's not a musician, but if there's something that you can contribute to the influence of our young people, why are you not doing that? Knowing how the other industry, the other images are so influential, negatively influential on our people. Big shout outs. What's up, family? Brown Coat Blue says, it's a proven fact there's an entire science behind how music can modulate brain activity. Big shout out. Sick Lion is with us all the way from Alaska. Big shout outs to you. Enigmatic Scorpio says, I'm stuck with 80s and 90s music. Can't even get into the music the last decade. Big shout outs to the family. Black Beauty always in the building. Black Beauty says, Carisha just said she doesn't want the city girl lifestyle for her daughter last week. Now, I mean, if that's not an oxymoron, I don't know what is. You have entertainers that can't even share their art with their own families. They wouldn't even want their own families listening to it. All the more but it's okay for them to sell it to your kids. Hello. Does it make sense? We know what we should be doing. Another reason that we don't do what we should do is because of money. We sell out quickly. We betray our brothers. We sabotage them all for money and little bits of money, not even substantial money, not even generational money, peanuts. So you signed this record deal, okay? And you're locked into your company, whatever, for like 5 years, 10 years. Okay? Because, this is somebody asked me this question too. Well, Gina, if they came along and they offered you $100,000, for a contract, would you be interested? $100,000 is not a lot for a contract. Million, maybe 5 million sounds good. The terms would need to be negotiated. I need to have creative control. There's so many things I need to do. I need a decent split. 60-40, me. 70-30, me. At least. Are they going to go with my terms? If not, no. Because I need to be free. But I'm not somebody who's easily bought. It's obvious to see I'm not somebody who's easily bought because I'm missing a lot of money, to be honest, here on YouTube, with my music, with a lot of the things I could be doing. Some of your favorite YouTubers, they're scammers. Some of them, they're OnlyFans stars or porn stars or whatever. Some of them are just fake as hell. They pretend, hi, I'm so-and-so. Look at this, and it's just ridiculous. But I can't sell out because I want my freedom. I can share my music with my family. I can actually send my music videos to my mom, my sister, those close to me, young people. My nephew is always hyped when I send him my new music videos. I live a life that I don't have to character switch. And it's because I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Do I incur consequences because of it? Yeah. But so what? So what? It's still better than being somebody's bitch. It's still better than being somebody's peon. That's why a lot of you lack courage. You're scared to die. You're scared to get punished. You're scared of the consequence. You don't want to get blacklisted or whatever. Look. I think because of the fact that I've learned how to be content in my life, and a lot of these things don't hold a lot of weight with me. Titles and, living in certain communities and, being a high earner with all this money. Those are things that are used to, blackmail you. Huh? Those are things that are used to blackmail you. I was once in the corporate world. I know. They dictate to you what you can do, what you can say, what you can wear, because you represent the company. It's just another form of control, and because a lot of you lack courage or you're wrapped up in this image or what, you cannot do what you ought to do, what you should do. And this spirit of non-performance is not getting us anywhere, guys. This spirit of knowing what we should do, but refusing to do it is not getting us anywhere. I became an independent artist because I see the influence that this music is having on our people. Okay? Because I'm independent, I can talk about what I want to talk about in my music. I don't think that any of these record labels are going to promote Africa. I don't think that any of them are going to promote Black love. So the people that have these record deals and all this stuff, they're automatically kind of restricted as far as the content of their art. And we've seen so many artists and stuff have, disputes and stuff with their record label and all kind of problems, blah, 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 whenever they want to speak their mind. Recently you had Kanye West. Recently you had Nick Cannon. get canceled, lose endorsements and all this stuff because they want to speak their mind. Are you willing to make those sacrifices to have your freedom? Nobody's going to tell me what to put in my music. I just, if any opportunity comes to me and that's one of the topics on the table, then I can just walk away and say, I'd rather just do my low scale, small scale, independent music and be able to make my music the way I want than you guys telling me the themes of my music. But because of money, guys, and because of weakness, and because of fear, we know what we should be doing, but we refuse to do it. That's what we're talking about tonight. Big shout outs, family. If you're here, make your presence be known. We got 20 of you. Make sure you like the stream, support the stream. It's on and popping. I'm the African Superstar. I'm here live to talk about this topic. Scorpio says the most outspoken pro-Black people in America are in interracial relationships. Sometimes I feel like their pro-Blackness is superficial. Listen. Okay? You cannot, I'm going to use the Bible. I'm going to quote the Bible for this. Okay? Bitter water and sweet water cannot come out the same fountain. All right? Whatever things that you claim is your ideology. Okay, so I'm going to expose some of you guys today. Hello, I'm going to expose some of you. Some of you guys talk about Africa. You won't come here. You've never been here. You keep claiming you don't have money. You won't interact with Africans. When you get here, you're rude. All these things are a contradiction of I love Africa. Huh? Some of you ladies talk about you love Black men, but the way that you talk to Black men, the way you interact to Black men, hello, the comments you leave online about Black men doesn't say that you love them. The fact you're dating outside your race, hello. And yeah, I know, picking slim and blah, 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 and whatever. Okay, well, if you were really about I love Black men, then you would be creative about perhaps solving that. Same thing with Black men that talk about they love Black women. Where's your woman? Do you have one? Are you dating? Are you married? Do you have a family? This is why I question Dr. Umar, because I'm like, I know that a lot of ladies probably are interested in Dr. Umar. He's smart. He's a doctor. He's very vocal. He's handsome, tall. He's something that a lot of women will be interested in. Why are you not creating the foundation of family that you talk about? It makes me question, are you really serious? All these very prolific, serious Black male figures of the past, all of them had families. They all had wives. They all had kids. Some of their kids are not activists now, currently this modern day. But where's the legacy of Dr. Umar besides maybe his school? Big shout out to the African Superstar family. Are you guys here? Are you guys in the building? What's up, Kira Rants? Big shout outs. I don't know where you got lost. I hope you're now found. Big shout outs to the family. Black Beauty, all my friends on the continent are local, barely any diasporans. Why would I move to Africa and deal with only Americans? It's weird when I see that exclusion. I feel the same way. There are people that, send me a lot of diasporan events and things. It's very rare that I even go to those things because, like you said, I came here to be abreast of my new home, and quite frankly, when you are coming here and you're new, it's not necessarily the diasporians that can plug you in everywhere, because they also are disconnected to a point unless they've been living here for a very long time. If they're here and they're new just like you, then the two of you guys are going to be feeling your way through. If you actually partner up with locals, you're going to be able to plug in. I talk about my team here, my entire team with the music is the name, my entire team. I couldn't be doing the project that I'm doing without them, you know. And furthermore, I'm plugged into the Ghanaian diaspora. You know, yesterday, one of my, friends from Columbus, Ohio sent me $100 for votes. He's Ghanaian, you know. Good luck to you, Gina. I want you to win. Ghanaians have supported me in all my endeavors, even though I was born and raised in America. You see, so plugging into these various communities is going to be your strong suit. But again, people know what they should be doing, but they refuse to do it. People talk about what they should be doing, but they refuse to do it. Okay? If you are not practicing unity, if you're not building relationships with your peers, if you're worried about being scammed or being brokenhearted or being lied, then you need to touch up on your discernment so that you can read these folks and so you can know a scammer. Let me give you some tips. The very charismatic people, the people that talk a lot, talk fast, and there's always urgency involved. A lot of times they are scammers. People with no track record, they're advising you on what you need to do, this investment, blah, blah, blah. They've never done it. Scam. People often that have nothing going on for themselves, that are trying to latch on to you, utilize your resources. Be wary. These are cardinal signs that adults, intellectuals should be able to recognize. Okay? Don't get involved with the big red flag and then get mad when that flag starts waving on you. That's not Ghana's fault. That's not Nigeria's fault. That's not Kenya's fault. That's nobody's fault, but you're wrong. Because if the red signs are there, and a lot of times the red signs are there, you people want to ignore the red signs because you want to give people the benefit of the doubt and you don't want to judge a book by its cover. Guys, we're adults now. Judge a book by its cover. You meet a struggle life woman or struggle life man, they're mid-30s, 40s, they still ain't got it together. Listen, you're not going to be their savior. They don't have it together because they don't want to have it together. And there's probably been people that have come along before you that have made the same suggestions that you make. Hey, baby, you should do this. Hey, babe, you could do that. Wow, you're really a nice artist. You're really a nice this, that. You think that you just walked into their life and gave them insight that nobody has ever poured into them. You know what you should be doing. Why are you not doing it? These shout outs. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Scorpio says, let's give ourselves credit sometimes. To be fair, a lot of Black Americans are gradually embracing unity with global Black populace. Let's give ourselves time. We will get there. I'm a little bit more critical than you, Scorpio. How much time do we need? How many decades do we need? We have been so displaced in the West for so long that this is laughable, honestly. I'm not the participation trophy. I don't come from that era. I come from the winner loser era. Okay, you're either performing or you're not. Okay, I'm not necessarily satisfied. I want to win. Same way I'm competing for various things. I want to win. Okay, I don't want to take second place. I don't want to take a consolation prize. No, we're not doing good. We're not doing good. Okay, and we're even coming here to the continent and creating dramas as well over here. We're not doing well. And I'm not going to pretend that we're doing well. I'm not going to pretend. And the few 4 or 5 of us that want to do something, we are having an impact, but the impact can be greater if more of us was doing the things that we're supposed to be doing. Big shout out to the African superstar family. I can see you're very lost and confused. Terrence, for some people, leaving the Western environment will be a solution, not for everybody. But I'm talking about Black people as a whole doing the things that they know that they should be doing. At the beginning of this broadcast, I asked a few questions. Okay. Black people know they should be shopping with Black-owned businesses. Okay. They should be putting their money back in their community. That's what all other ethnicities do. We talk about it, but do we do it? We know we should be marrying our own people. It's the foundation of the family. It's the foundation of the community. But are we doing it? Hello. We know we should be practicing unity. Okay. Unity can start from any perspective. If you're not interested in the continent, which is crazy, because if you believe in unity, you believe in global unity of Black people. But even if you are not looking outside of your environment in America, UK, still participating in your community, unity. Are you doing that? We know as Black people, we should be educating our kids. All these things that I'm listing are the things that we know, we can agree we should be doing. Yet there's a disconnect between what we actually are doing. And that's what I'm talking about tonight. Okay. So I hope that I've cleared that up for you. Big shout out to the African Superstar family. What's up? What's up, family? Yes. So that's what I'm talking about today. Scorpio says money talks, and once white Americans bring money to the continent, they'll have some influence on the ground. It's scary. Absolutely. We know what they're going to do when they get into a position. You know, the same things they've been doing historically for centuries. They understand, you know, he who has the gold makes the golden rule. Okay. So if you create the infrastructure, you bring businesses and industry, you know, infiltrate the local world, and you get in power. In some cases, the minority holds power over the majority because they own all these things, you know, and they strategically come in and start infiltrating. And unfortunately, you know, here on the continent, people are so welcoming and, you know, they're a bit oblivious to these dangers of these folks coming that they welcome them in. Bronco Blue says, are you familiar with the Coco Jones saga? She was one of the Disney kids in there with all the other famous kids, but when she was off her first big solo breaks, they wanted street and urban. I'm not familiar with her, but I'm not surprised because these industries create the narratives for our people. You know, there's countless stories of these artists coming out saying, oh, I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that. They wanted to portray me like this. I rejected this deal. And they said, no, you know, so there's a lot of conflict between what some of these artists want to do and who they want to be and what their contract is saying that they got to be. But again, in my same topic is we know what we should be doing, but we refuse to do it. We know these contracts are predatory. We know they're dangerous. But because of money, many of our people will get involved in it. You see, we know these contracts are like a ball and chain. We've heard it for decades. Artists complaining about Warner Brothers, complaining about Sony, complaining about Def Jam, and all of this. But we still go. I'm not interested in no deal. I mean, I'm telling you the truth. I'm really not. You know, it would have to be something on my terms, and I would have to go through that thing. But you know, certain people that are educated or versed on these topics or do the research, they don't get approached by these record deals anyway, because the record labels know they're not going to be able to run game on these particular people. And the people that will, you know, I can't say I wasn't versed in the music business before I started doing music, but I continue to educate myself on how to do things, you know, how to improve things and blah, 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 so that I can be understanding, you know, have an understanding. And once you understand stuff, then you know you can do a lot of things for yourself. In this day and age with social media, if you want to do music, if you want to do any type of art, you can go DTP, which means direct to public. You can create your own audience, create your own platforms via social media, locate your fan base, and go directly from you to them. No middleman. I'm not surprised. Brown Coat Blue says she refused and they blackballed her. Took her like 10 years on her own, managing all her own stuff, but she's just now starting to blow up with some songs. Big shout outs. Kira Rant says, keeps you attached to the system. Scorpio says, someone said Dr. Umar might be gay and trying hard to stay in the closet because at his age and his love for black women, he should be with one. I mean, I don't really get the gay vibes from him. I don't know. But it's a question that begs to be answered. You know, if, again, I mean, the biggest example of how you feel about your counterparts is choosing to make a future with your counterparts. You know, he's an educator, and I would think that, you know, he would feel that he's equipped to be a father. You know, why are you not interested in having a son or, you know, somebody to carry your name for? It's very, very questionable. What's up? What's up? Big shout out to Zoo and Shayna. Loving Beach Chill. Much love to Zoo and Shayna. She's talking about my brand new single from my upcoming EP, STAR. The official music video is here on YouTube. I just have so many things going on right now. Yeah, you're right. I should show Beach Chill. Thank you. Yes, I'll do that in a moment. What's up, Blockavelli? Yes. Brown Coat Blue says, I have made many friends in Ghana and most are Ghanaian. Use that social media. Ghanaians are literally so friendly and eager to meet people. Big shout outs. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, girl? How you doing? Thanks for stopping by to hear my rants and opinions. I just want to know, you know, and I mean, obviously, there are some of you guys that are doing what you're supposed to do. So this wouldn't necessarily apply to you. But we can't, you know, we can't sugarcoat that a lot of our people, a substantial amount of our people, they know what they need to be doing. They talk about it all the time. I mean, if you go on YouTube, some of these debates, I mean, it's redundant. You know, some of these debates and all this stuff about how things are and blah, blah, blah. One thing this debate between Black Americans and Africans, you can be a part of that, changing that narrative, participating in the solution. Like I said, you know, some of you are talking about like Brown Coat Blue. You know, I've come to Ghana, I've made friends, I'm integrated with them, blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm not saying that it's without its ups and downs. You need to screen and vet who you're dealing with, period. You know, but at the end of the day, if you know what needs to be done, do it. Even if what you can contribute, you know, you're not global. Some of you may not even be international. Some of you guys are in the UK, or you're in America, or you're in Australia. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. You know, at least at the end of the day, for nobody else involved, you can rest and have peace. One thing that drives me crazy is feeling like I can do something, but I'm doing nothing. When I look at a lot of the problems that I see, I literally feel that I'm addressing so many of them by my day-to-day life and what I'm choosing to do. You know, I can feel like I am offsetting some of these problems because I'm choosing to be a solution. Big shout out to African Superstar family. We have quite a few of you guys here in the building today. This is very, very true. Brown Coat Blue says he thinks a lot of people are trapped in the system. And it's by design. You know, it's by design that our people are stuck in the system. But again, what's that movie? Y'all remember that movie called Shawshank Redemption? Ain't that the movie where the guy dug himself out of prison? It took him a long time to dig through that wall. It took him years to create that path. I'm pretty sure that's the movie. If it's not the movie, y'all can correct me. But, you know, sometimes your freedom, sometimes your solution is going to be gradual. You know, you're going to have to chip away. you know, over time and time and time, you know, to get free. But one thing's for sure, you will never achieve it unless you start. You know, things are not going to get better unless you make them get better. And overall, the world may not get better, but maybe the situation can get better for you if you're making strategic decisions. I can 100% emphatically tell you that since I moved to Ghana, my life is better. You know, a lot of the problems I had in America and UK have been resolved. You know, a lot of my desires have been met. I'm a part of a very loving community here in Ghana, and that makes me feel so special. You know, I posted on my Instagram the other day, I went to the gym last week, and I was sitting there working out, and all of a sudden one of the personal trainers came and took my headphones off, and they were playing my song in the gym, you know. And then I got a message on my Instagram from my gym that African Superstar, you're such a bright light. We're so proud to have you here, you know. And anytime I'm sharing my music stuff, they share it on the gym page, you know, which has several thousand followers. And, you know, these are the things that are part of me being here in this community. And I love feeling like people love me. I love feeling like people care. I love, you know, when they interact with me. It's very, very special. I feel like, you know, societally, big shout outs to, let's see who sent that. Brown Coat Blue. I appreciate you for that super chat. Thank you. Hello. We got like almost 30 of y'all here. See, why don't you do what you're supposed to do? Y'all know y'all here. Y'all know I'm hustling for these votes, and y'all know I do this YouTube thing for free, but y'all don't want to super chat. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Hello. Y'all rather give it to people that don't really need it. Y'all rather give it to these YouTubers that cause a lot of drama. I don't know. Why not give it to the person who's out here for you, by you, trying to do right? I'm just saying. I feel that, you know, I was very triggered in the West. I was angry a lot of times. I felt that my mental state fluctuated because I was just so unhappy with how I was being treated. And I was so unhappy with how our people are treated and how there's no recourse. You know, from day to day here in Ghana, it's rare I get upset. People treat me with respect when I go out. You know, children greet me. People say, good morning. How are you, madam? You know, all that stuff. And it's nice. You know, a lot of things have drastically changed. The weather, you know, I was so unhappy with the weather most recently in the UK. I love the sun. It was always cold. It rains a lot. You know, these kind of things made me bitter, made me upset. Big shout outs. Thank you so much, Scorpio. I see y'all. Thank you. Y'all coming through in the 4/5 because it's almost over. Much love to the family. All proceeds currently going to the South African Music Fund. So I have created, obviously, the GoFundMe. You can submit votes directly. You can contribute to the GoFundMe, or you can just donate here on the channel and things like that. I'm thinking about coming up with commemorative T-shirts on the website on www.theafricansuperstar.com for you guys to like specifically support the event you're going for. South Africa, now I have Paris coming up, and you know, then you can have another tangible thing, you know, for your investment into the platform and into me. You know, so I say all this to say, I've been saying a lot, but what I really want to say to my audience is that you've got to be integral in the change you want to see. It doesn't make sense why we as a people have been literally talking about the same problems for decades and centuries, and we're not moving to fix them. And at the very bottom level of it all is how you choose to live your life. Okay? If you have a lot of grievances, like me, have so many grievances with a lot of things, someone should be able to look at you and be like, okay, you know what? She lines up with what she says. You know? And that's the kind of person I want to be. Big shout outs to family. Mind, Body, and Soul TV. What's up, family? Yeah, I'm about to wrap up. You already know. She know how I get down. Yes. I'll put it on this video. I'll put it in the comments box, and I'll make it the first comment on this video, Scorpio, so that you can find it. It is already on the community tab. I've already shared it on the community tab. It's also on my Facebook. So yes, the GoFundMe is out there, but I will definitely make sure I leave it on this video, put it in the comments box, and put it in the comments below. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope it's thought-provoking for some of you guys. You know, it's never too late to start changing the way that you move. Okay, if you literally think that, you know, your thoughts should be words or should be actions, I think it would change the way that you interact with this world, because a lot of people talk and say things and they don't deliver, you know. But if you, like, say for instance, if it was required for you to fulfill the things that you say, or you like get a lightning bolt or something, I think people would stop taking it so lightly. These promises and these commitments and these things they want to do, you know, they say them aimlessly with no intention of bringing them to life. And it's very ridiculous. And we're in a very critical period with our people, guys. The tide is straight turning. Now we see these foreigners like coming in droves to the continent. Okay. If we're not careful, we're going to lose the last, you know, semblance of refuge for our people, because they're going to come here and they're going to spoil everything, and they're going to dominate, and they're going to bring their racism and violence, and that's what it is, you know. So it's, you know, the time to stand up and step up is right now. We don't have any more time to be talking aimlessly about how we feel and what we want to see and all. No, it's time for action to commence, you know. So big shout out to the African Superstar family. Zoo and Shayna did mention Beach Show, so I will play that for y'all. Please make sure you go see the official music video. If you have not seen it, it's here on YouTube. One and only, I'm back again. African Superstar on the track. It's the weekend, and ain't no place I'd rather be than here with you. And you here with me. Yeah. 3AB got the sauce, boy. It's a beach chill. You ain't gotta lie, come close and keep it real. Swear to God, already know how you feel. It's a beach chill. It's a beach chill. You ain't gotta lie, come close and keep it real. Swear to God, already know how you feel. It's a beach chill. Yes. Okay. So that, in other words, is called Black Love. Hello. Yes. That is called Black Love. Yes. Okay. You can count on me to have nice, tasteful, classy music videos that show us enjoying life, showing us well-dressed, showing us, you know, appropriately. Okay. Something that the mainstream will never do. You guys can count on me. So that's my most recent music video. We premiered it last week, Sunday. Not this past Sunday, that was yesterday, but the week before that. So if you want to go see the whole video, please do that. You can also purchase the EP. That's one of the first 2 tracks you'll get off the EP. The full project drops on June 26th, STAR. So, and that's exclusively available at bandcamp.com. So you guys can purchase it, bandcamp.com, $20. You'll get 8 tracks total, June 26th, 2 tracks for immediate download. So yes, that's what's going on. So that's the current events, guys. I will see you guys very, very soon. Until we meet again, stay black and true. If you ain't black, just stay true.